Doesn't that make his uncircumcision circumcision? I need you to continue on. You know what? You good? Yeah. Continue on.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 27. And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter and the circumcision does transgress the law?
So if the ones that are calling themselves the circumcision are transgressing the law, but the ones that they're calling the uncircumcision are keeping the law, then how can they have this loftiness and this gall to call you the uncircumcision and say we're the circumcision if you're keeping the law and they're not, right? I think there's more on that, right?
It says, Romans 2, chapter 28, for he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh.
So in the context in which Paul was talking about, this also had to do with actually circumcising the flesh. And saying just because you're cut doesn't mean that you're the circumcision. But in this instance, what we're talking about, we can relate this to what you're talking about, because they're saying you don't have woolly hair and you don't seem dark enough for me to call you the circumcision, right? But he just said that it's not outwardly in the flesh. They're carnal minded, right? Read on.
Romans 2, chapter 29, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of man, but of God.
Right? Because the Bible says that the Bible says that men judge outward appearance, right? But God judges the heart. So God knows what's on your mind and if you're trying to follow him or not. Whereas a man just looking at you might not be able to tell, right? But men, we're lowly, we think lowly and carnally, so a lot of people get wrapped up in, okay, well, it describes this person as looking like me and this person as looking like me, and I don't feel like you look like me, so therefore I'm going to put you on the outside. But the Bible condemns that all over the place. So what they're doing is the wrong thing. And when we know the history of the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom, we went into different captivities. So whereas we were in parts of Africa, you guys were in Assyria and these other places, right? So naturally, with getting women from these places, and then also being separated from one another for a substantial amount of time, naturally, we would begin to look a little bit different. But it's really not even as big a deal as people make it out to be, right? Because within black people, you have very, very dark black people and very, very light black people. And it's the same thing with Hispanics. You have very, very light Hispanics, but also very, very dark Hispanics and everything in between.
I always put that Blake Griffin. You know,
exactly, Blake Griffin.
His son looks straight up white.
He looks white.
But you could tell in his spirit he's not. Like, he got the blonde hair, but like, you could see he's not a straight up white Caucasian.
Exactly.
His father, you know what I'm saying? But he got straight white blonde hair. So I always put that to the other brothers. So he's not Israelite. They're like, and they just like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
It's not about
you know,
that.
I saw somebody making a post like that, and they tried to say, what's the girl's name? Tatiana Ali, the girl from The Fresh Prince. You ever watch that show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? She played Ashley, the little cousin. They said that she is an Afro-Trinidadian. She's not. She looks like a black woman because her mother is a black woman. Her father is an Indo-Trinidadian, meaning that he's from India. His family's from India. So she's an Elamite. She looked like his sister, but she's not one of us. So when people get wrapped up in what people look like too much, it blinds them. And they'll accept her being a heathen and cast you away being an Israelite. And it's the stupidest thing in the world. And and look, there are a few people that I would think, honestly, are more foolish than a Negro only or even a Latino only Israelite. It's stupid. It's the dumbest thing in the world. And we here at the Sakari denounce all of that and rebuke all of that. You got something?
This is 1 John chapter 4 verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God, whom he hath not seen?
So these people that are hating on you, they're murderers, according to the Most High God, according to the Bible. And no murderer has everlasting life, right?
Yeah, even though they tell me like
Our people saying no God proves that we're not in the new covenant, because that is the very definition of the new covenant.
That's right.
That the law would be within our minds and in our hearts, and that we would no longer teach people to know God, because they would already know God. And to know God is to keep his commandments.
Bro, I got another question.
What's up?
You know how it says like the 2/3 should be cut off, right?
Right.
And then it says all Israel should be saved.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
That means on this side, when we're talking about the second death, right? Okay, the first death was by water, right? Noah and the flood. The whole world, the whole inhabited earth died. Outside of Noah, his family, which would include their wives, right? And this time, the second death is going to be by fire. And 2/3 of Israel is going to die in that fire.
Right.
Only 1/3 is going to make it through.
Bring it out.
But ultimately, all of Israel will be saved, because Israel is going to inherit the kingdom.
So that means even the ones that died,
Even the ones that die. When you die, look, when you die,
you come
back,
Yeah.
right? When you die, you come back. In the Christian church, they tell you,
But it's gonna be like different levels too, right?
well, yeah, because we're also going to have the elect, which is the
Yeah, yeah.
144,000, right?
Yeah.
Who are going to reign with Christ. They're going to be the top. They're going to be way at the top.
Yeah, yeah.
You're also going to have the 1/3, and then you're going to have the 2/3 that are brought back into everlasting
So
shame.
what about like our parents that are in the truth and they can't understand it? Like what's gonna happen to them?
Well, either the Most High God's going to wake them up before it's too late, or they're going to have to die the death. It's the same with us, right? Because I mean, look, just because we're up here right now, just because I have this microphone and I'm speaking and these brothers are reading and this brother's holding the sign and he's working the camera, he's passing out flyers and you're here listening, just because it don't mean we're going to be saved. Because we could fall off the truth any minute. If the Most High wants to cast us away, he'll cast us away. And he can wake up 100 of these sinners that a lot of brothers will come out on the street and condemn and tell them that they're 2/3. We don't know if they're 2/3. We don't even know if we're 2/3. We just have a hope and we have faith in the Most High God that he's going to use us and keep us and bring us in through those gates. Because I want to walk in through the gates. I don't want to have to be born later on like, oh, this is the kingdom and now I'm being born all after the fact. Nah, I want to see it. Yeah. I want to be one of the ones dressed in white.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? What you got? We don't need that right now. Get the conclusion of the whole matter. You got it? We're gonna close out with this.
So book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
So fear God, keep his commandments. This is the whole duty of man.
That's right.
So with that, I want to say call halal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's all praises to the Most High God in the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Kwam Yasharallah.
Oh, yes, Lord.
And death to America.
Death to America.